Good evening, my weary academics, and welcome to History to Sleep By, where we nerd out and conk out. If you enjoy calm, narrated history documentaries or just need a reliable friend to help with restless nights, please subscribe, leave a like, and maybe share a comment about what's happening in your life. That way, you'll always find your way back to us. Now, let's begin tonight's journey. In the spring of 1781, the American Revolutionary War found itself in the back country of South Carolina, a land of rolling hills and dense forests. It was here, amidst the quiet of nature, that a significant struggle unfolded. The British, under the command of Lord Cornwallis, had established a series of posts to maintain control over the southern interior after their victory at Camden. One such post was 96, a small but strategically important settlement. The British had fortified it well, with a garrison led by Lieutenant Colonel John Harris Cruger. His forces, composed of Loyalists and provincial troops, were tasked with holding this vital position. The fortifications at 96 were formidable. The centerpiece was an earthen structure known as the Star Fort, an 8-pointed bastion designed to withstand assault. Nearby, a stockade and redoubt protected the water source, ensuring the garrison could endure a siege. These defenses were a testament to British engineering and determination to hold the interior. Opposing them was Major General Nathanael Greene, a determined and resourceful leader of the Continental Army. Greene had taken command of American forces in the South after the setbacks at Camden and Hobkirk's Hill. He understood the importance of dismantling the British hold on the interior. With a mix of Continental soldiers and local militia, Greene moved to reduce the British post at 96. Greene's forces included light troops led by the audacious Henry Light Horse Harry Lee and South Carolina militia under the command of Andrew Pickens. Their task was daunting, for the British defenses were strong and well-manned, yet Greene was undeterred. On May 22, 1781, the siege began. The Americans set about their work with quiet determination, digging approach trenches and parallels to inch closer to the fortifications. Engineers and laborers toiled under the watchful eyes of sentries, constructing saps and artillery positions. To gain an advantage, the Americans built the Maham Tower, a wooden structure designed to overlook the Star Fort. From this vantage point, sharpshooters could fire into the fort, creating a constant pressure on the defenders. The siege tightened gradually, with exchanges of fire and local assaults testing the resolve of the garrison. The Loyalists, however, were not idle. They launched sorties and engaged in countermine activities, seeking to disrupt the besiegers' efforts. As the days turned into weeks, the tension grew. The Americans continued their methodical approach, while the defenders held firm. On June 18th, Greene ordered a major assault. The target was the Star Fort and the stockade protecting the water source. Under cover of darkness, American forces moved forward, breaching parts of the defenses. For a moment, it seemed victory was within reach. Yet, the Loyalists, driven by determination and the knowledge that relief was on the way, repulsed the attack. Word had reached Greene that a British relief column, led by Lord Rawdon, was approaching. The realization that his forces could be caught between the garrison and Rawdon's reinforcements forced Greene to make a difficult decision. On June 19th, he lifted the siege and withdrew his troops. The immediate tactical outcome was clear. The British held the post. Yet, the strategic picture was shifting. The siege had weakened the British system of interior posts. The garrison at 96, though victorious, would soon find its position untenable. The British would eventually evacuate toward the coast, as the American presence in the interior grew stronger. Casualties on both sides were significant, a testament to the fierce fighting that had taken place. The siege of 96, though not a decisive victory for Greene, had contributed to the larger campaign to reclaim the South. It was a chapter in the long and arduous struggle for independence, marked by determination and resilience on both sides. As the stars twinkled over the quiet South Carolina countryside, the echoes of battle faded into the night. The siege of 96 had ended, but the war continued. The land would remember the courage and sacrifice of those who had fought there, as history moved gently forward, one day at a time. In the aftermath of the siege, the landscape of South Carolina bore silent witness to the shifting tides of war. The fields, once vibrant with the colors of summer, now lay scarred by the passage of troops and the heavy tread of artillery. The scent of gunpowder lingered in the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of the pine forests that stretched toward the horizon. As the British forces withdrew, the American troops under Nathanael Greene took a moment to regroup, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that their efforts were not in vain. The campaign in the South was a series of maneuvers and skirmishes, each one a piece of a larger puzzle that slowly came together. Greene, with his keen strategic mind, understood the importance of persistence. His men, weary yet resolute, moved with a quiet determination that belied the hardships they had endured. Supplies were scarce, and the summer heat was relentless, yet they pressed on, driven by the hope of a future free from tyranny. In the towns and villages scattered across the countryside, whispers of the siege and its outcomes spread quickly. The people, caught in the crossfire of a war that had come to their doorsteps, listened intently. For them, the struggle for independence was not just a distant conflict, but a daily reality. Families clung to news of the war. Each victory and setback felt deeply in their hearts. They tended to their fields and livestock, their lives intertwined with the ebb and flow of the ongoing struggle. The British, retreating toward the coast, faced their own challenges. The long march was fraught with difficulties as the soldiers navigated through dense forests and across swollen rivers. The oppressive heat sapped their strength, and the threat of ambush loomed large. Yet they marched on, their red coats a stark contrast against the green of the landscape. The officers, aware of the growing strength of the American forces, pondered their next moves, knowing that the war was far from over. As the days passed, the rhythm of life in the South began to settle once more. The fields, though scarred, slowly returned to their natural state, the grass growing over the marks of battle. In the evenings, the sky would blaze with the colors of sunset, a reminder of the beauty that persisted even in times of turmoil. The people, resilient and hopeful, continued to support the cause in whatever ways they could, their resolve unbroken. In the quiet moments, when the world seemed still, thoughts of loved ones lost in the conflict weighed heavily on the hearts of many. Letters, penned with care and carried by couriers through the wilderness, brought news from distant battlefields. Each word was cherished, a connection to those who fought bravely for the promise of a new nation. The war had forged bonds that transcended distance, uniting people in a shared vision of freedom. The seasons changed, and with them, the fortunes of war. The American forces, bolstered by their successes, continued to press the British, their strategy one of attrition and endurance. Greene, ever the tactician, moved his troops with precision, striking where the enemy was weakest. His leadership inspired confidence, his presence a steadying force amidst the chaos of war. In the coastal cities, where the British had sought refuge, the tension was palpable. The sea, once a symbol of British naval supremacy, now served as a reminder of the isolation they faced. The American blockade, though not impenetrable, was a constant threat, disrupting supply lines and sowing uncertainty. The British commanders, aware of the precariousness of their position, weighed their options carefully, each decision fraught with consequence. As the war continued its relentless march, the people of South Carolina remained steadfast. Their land, rich with history and promise, was a testament to their endurance. The struggle for independence was not just a battle of armies, but a test of will, a journey toward a future that was yet to be written. In the quiet moments, beneath the vast expanse of the southern sky, they dreamed of peace and the dawn of a new era. The Siege of 96, though a single chapter in the annals of history, was emblematic of the broader struggle. It was a reminder of the courage and sacrifice that defined the American spirit, a legacy that would endure long after the war had ended. As the stars shone brightly over the land, the echoes of the past mingled with the hopes of the future, weaving a tapestry of resilience and determination that would guide the nation forward. In the aftermath of the siege, the air was thick with the scent of gunpowder and the quiet murmurs of soldiers reflecting on their trials. The town of 96, though small, had become a symbol of perseverance. Its earthworks and fortifications bore silent witness to the fierce engagements that had unfolded there. The Loyalists, who had fought to maintain their ties to the crown, and the Patriots, who yearned for independence, had both left their mark on this patch of South Carolina soil. The conflict had transformed the landscape, leaving scars that would take years to heal. As the soldiers withdrew, the townspeople emerged from their shelters, surveying the damage with a mix of relief and sorrow. Homes stood charred and fields lay fallow, yet there was a quiet determination in their eyes. They knew that rebuilding would be arduous, but they also knew that the spirit of their community was unbroken. The siege had tested their resolve, but it had also united them in a common purpose. They would rebuild not just their homes, but also their lives, with the hope that peace would soon follow. The war had brought hardship, but it had also fostered a sense of unity among those who had endured its trials. Neighbors who had once been strangers now shared a bond forged in the crucible of conflict. They gathered in the evenings, sharing stories of bravery and loss, their voices mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. These gatherings became a balm for their weary souls, a reminder that they were not alone in their struggles. As the seasons changed, the land around 96 began to show signs of renewal. Wildflowers bloomed where once there had been only trenches and barricades. The fields, tilled with care, began to yield crops once more. The people, too, found new strength in the rhythms of daily life. They planted, harvested, and celebrated the small victories that marked their path to recovery. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to forge a future free from the shadows of war. The legacy of the siege lingered, a testament to the resilience of those who had lived through it. The stories of courage and sacrifice were passed down through generations, becoming part of the fabric of the community. Children grew up hearing tales of their ancestors' bravery, of the nights spent beneath the stars, dreaming of freedom. These stories inspired them to cherish the hard-won peace and to strive for a better tomorrow. In time, the town of 96 became a place where history and hope coexisted. Visitors came to walk the paths once trodden by soldiers, to stand where battles had raged, and to reflect on the enduring spirit of those who had fought for their beliefs. The earthworks, preserved as a reminder of the past, stood as silent sentinels, watching over a land that had known both conflict and reconciliation. The people of 96, though shaped by the events of the past, looked to the future with optimism. They understood that the struggle for independence was but one chapter in the story of their nation. It was a chapter that had taught them the value of unity and the power of hope. As they moved forward, they carried with them the lessons of the siege, knowing that the strength of their community lay in their shared commitment to peace and progress. In the quiet moments, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky filled with stars, the echoes of the past whispered through the trees. They spoke of courage and sacrifice, of dreams deferred and dreams fulfilled. They reminded the people of 96 that the journey toward independence was not just a battle fought with muskets and cannon, but a testament to the enduring human spirit. It was a journey that continued, carried forward by each generation, a beacon of hope shining brightly in the darkness. And so, beneath the vast expanse of the southern sky, the town of 96 stood as a symbol of resilience and renewal. Its people, bound by the shared experience of history, looked to the future with a steadfast resolve. They knew that the path ahead would not always be easy, but they also knew that they would face it together, guided by the lessons of the past and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As the night enveloped the land, the stars above bore silent witness to a community united in purpose, a community that would endure, just as it always had. In the quietude of the night, the town of 96 nestled into the embrace of the Carolina landscape. The gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze whispered stories of old, tales of courage and camaraderie that had shaped the very essence of this place. The air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, grounding the townsfolk in their shared heritage. Each home, with its flickering candlelight, seemed to hold a piece of the past, a fragment of the collective memory that bound them together. As the moon cast its silvery glow across the fields, the land itself seemed to breathe with history. The soil, tilled by generations of hands, held secrets of struggles and triumphs. It was here that the spirit of resilience had taken root, nurtured by the sweat and toil of those who had come before. The fields, once battlegrounds, now lay peaceful under the night sky, a testament to the passage of time and the healing power of nature. In the heart of the town, the old tavern stood as a gathering place, its wooden beams echoing with laughter and song. Here, stories were shared, bonds were forged, and the weight of the day was eased by the warmth of companionship. The tavern was more than just a building. It was a living chronicle of the town's journey, a place where the past and present intertwined seamlessly. The conversations that flowed within its walls were like threads weaving the fabric of community, each voice adding a unique color to the tapestry. The people of 96 knew that their strength lay in unity. They understood that the challenges they faced were not to be borne alone. Instead, they leaned on one another, drawing from the well of shared experience and mutual support. This sense of togetherness was their greatest asset, a shield against the uncertainties of the future. It was a lesson passed down through the generations, a truth as enduring as the stars that watched over them. As the night deepened, the gentle hum of crickets filled the air, a soothing melody that lulled the town into a peaceful slumber. The world seemed to pause, holding its breath in reverence for the quiet strength of 96. In the stillness, dreams took flight, carrying hopes and aspirations into the realm of possibility. The future, though unwritten, was a canvas waiting to be painted with the colors of determination and hope. In the distance, the silhouette of the old fort stood as a silent guardian, a reminder of the town's storied past. Its walls, though weathered by time, still held the echoes of battles fought and won. The fort was a symbol of endurance, a testament to the resilience that defined this community. It was a place where history was not just remembered, but lived, a place where the lessons of the past were etched into the very stones. The people of 96 carried these lessons with them, like lanterns guiding their way. They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they also knew that they were equipped to face them. Their journey was one of perseverance, a journey that honored the sacrifices of those who had come before. It was a journey that promised renewal and growth, a journey that would continue as long as there were hearts willing to dream and hands willing to build. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, the town stirred from its slumber. The promise of a new day brought with it a sense of anticipation, a reminder that each morning was an opportunity to forge ahead. The people of 96 rose with the sun, ready to embrace the challenges and joys that lay ahead. They were a community bound by history, united by purpose, and driven by the unwavering belief in a brighter tomorrow. In the gentle glow of the morning light, the town of 96 stood as a beacon of hope and resilience. Its story was one of endurance, a story that would continue to unfold with each passing day. The journey was far from over, but the people of 96 knew that they would face it together, guided by the lessons of the past and the promise of a new dawn. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the town came alive with the sounds of life and laughter, a testament to the enduring spirit of a community that would not be broken. As the morning unfolded, the streets of 96 began to fill with the gentle hum of daily activity. The cobbler, with his leather apron and well-worn tools, opened his shop to the first customers of the day. The rhythmic tapping of his hammer blended with the soft chatter of townsfolk exchanging greetings and news. Nearby, the blacksmith's forge sent up wisps of smoke, the steady clang of metal on metal, a reassuring presence in the heart of the town. Children, their faces bright with the promise of adventure, darted between the buildings, their laughter echoing through the narrow lanes. In the marketplace, vendors set up their stalls, arranging goods with care. Fresh produce from nearby farms, baskets of apples, and bundles of herbs filled the air with their earthy fragrance. The baker, his hands dusted with flour, placed warm loaves of bread on display, the comforting aroma drawing passers-by. Housewives, baskets in hand, paused to exchange recipes and snippets of gossip, their voices mingling with the calls of merchants extolling the virtues of their wares. At the edge of town, the fields stretched out, a patchwork of green and gold under the rising sun. Farmers, their silhouettes outlined against the sky, guided plows through the rich soil, preparing for another season of growth. The land, tended with care and respect, promised abundance, a testament to the hard work and dedication of those who called 96 home. The gentle lowing of cattle and the clucking of hens added a pastoral symphony to the morning air. In the heart of the town, the church bell tolled, its clear notes marking the passage of time. The sound carried over rooftops, a reminder of the shared faith and values that bound the community together. Inside, the pews stood ready to welcome those seeking solace and reflection, the stained glass windows casting colorful patterns on the wooden floor. The minister, a steady presence in the lives of his congregation, prepared his sermon, words of wisdom and hope, to guide his flock through the challenges and triumphs of life. As the sun climbed higher, the town square became a lively hub of interaction. Friends met for a midday meal, sharing stories and laughter over simple fare. The inn, with its welcoming hearth and sturdy tables, offered respite for travelers and locals alike. Here, tales of distant lands and adventures were exchanged, weaving a rich tapestry of human experience. The innkeeper, with a ready smile and a keen ear, ensured that all who entered felt at home. Throughout the day, the rhythm of life in 96 continued, a harmonious blend of work and leisure, tradition and progress. The schoolhouse, with its rows of desks and chalk-dusted blackboard, welcomed eager young minds. The teacher, a patient guide, imparted knowledge and curiosity, nurturing the seeds of future generations. Outside, the playground echoed with the joyful cries of children at play, their games a reflection of innocence and imagination. As afternoon gave way to evening, the town began to wind down, the pace of life slowing with the setting sun. Families gathered around tables, sharing meals and stories, the bonds of kinship strengthened by shared experiences. The hearth, its flames dancing in the twilight, cast a warm glow over the faces of those gathered, a symbol of comfort and continuity. The sky, painted in hues of orange and pink, signaled the close of another day. The streets, once bustling with activity, grew quiet, the gentle murmur of conversation replaced by the soothing sounds of nature. Crickets chirped in the fields, and the distant hoot of an owl marked the arrival of night. The stars, one by one, appeared in the velvet sky, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the small yet significant place that 96 held within it. As the town settled into slumber, the people of 96 rested, secure in the knowledge that they were part of something enduring and meaningful. The challenges of the past and the uncertainties of the future were tempered by the strength of community and the promise of a new day. In the quiet of the night, the spirit of 96 remained unbroken, a testament to the resilience and hope that define this small yet remarkable corner of the world.